Welcome, everyone. And I cannot believe it is almost the end of April 2025, because I'll just say that. Who knows when you're watching this? Welcome to everyone who's joining us for this new member Q&A via Zoom this morning live. And of course, to anyone who's watching it later. My name's Betsy Ko, and we've been doing these for about 2.5 years. And the idea is just to give a way for people to answer their questions where we can answer them in real time. And Zoom allows us to do that really nicely with screen sharing. So I've been a WikiTreeer for, I guess I should say I'm going on six years. Um, and I remember when I first joined WikiTree, I felt like I had walked into a huge castle, and it was so massive that I didn't dare leave the entryway. And
Mhm.
and there are so many entry points for getting to know your way around WikiTree. I don't think there's a right answer for everybody. For me, it was this Saturday morning roundup LiveCasts where I think what it was they showed a lot of profiles, and I got to see examples of what was possible. And then furthermore, they explained like, oh, how did they do this? And so that and it's a nice little recurring community. Victor, who's with us today, he is a regular attendee, and Murray is a regular attendee. So you get to know people that way, and gradually I got braver, and now I feel like I can roam the castle, which is a very cool feeling. So if you are very new, don't feel overwhelmed. It just stick with it. Some other great places, well, hopefully these series of Q&As are a good place of community. There's also um, weekend chat, which takes place on G2G, where again, it's a consistent community. Pip Shepherd hosts those, and people just chat on G2G about what they're working on, and a little bit about genealogy and non-genealogy too, and they get to know each other that way. So my research, I am half Taiwanese and half, let's just say, British. Great Britain. I have a mix of ancestry in England and Scotland, and then some immigration over to Canada. So that's where, as well as the United States, where I live, that's where my research is based. Murray, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Murray Maloney, and my ancestry is Macedonian on my mother's side, and on my father's side is Irish and Canadian, largely in Quebec, and a bit in New England. And I've been on here for about 5 years, and boy, was it ever hard when I got started, coming over from using Ancestry and Family Tree DNA and GED match is a really big learning curve. And and it's because of that, because of my experience with the learning curve, that I thought that I would join Betsy on this program just to help people along because it is really tough, and and we all need help on this stuff. Stephen?
Oh, thanks, Murray. Hi, and I'm Steven. Again, I've been on Wiki Communities for the last 2 decades, so I feel like I'm versed enough in that, at least in the code aspect, at least in approaching the platform and the software. I have familiarity with that, but I always had a fascination for the family tree. And 20 years ago was like when I started doing it, like on an offline family tree. I had a family tree maker, and it grew and it grew and it went nowhere because there was no one to connect with. There was no one for me to communicate with. It was just all
Yeah.
isolated. So 20 years later, come around, I found a community that worked to my interest, that I had, some experience with already in the programming, and then It was just a great opportunity for me to communicate with cousins and people. I believe it was Cousin Bate that actually got my attention because I have a heavy German ancestry. And being in Milwaukee, which is a lot of other German people, sort of appropriate for me, but that's not technically where my people go through. But I was able to communicate with one of my German cousins, and then we went to town on several profiles and space pages, and it just kind of grew from there. Um, and I mean, I've been working on this all the way up to even just last night. One of my local friends, we collaborated on a space page for the area, and so we were like up at 2 o'clock in the morning, just like talking about history and stuff and local things, and it was just great to communicate on that level with them as well. And then of course I have my other side projects in addition to being Germany, which I help out with Germany Project on the Connectathon and so forth. I'm also kind of big into making those notable profiles and just getting all those cleaned up and connected. You'll probably find me creating some after someone just passes away, if it's a notable person. And so I try to get all the sources together for that information, get them connected to the wiki. So I dabble from time to time. I kind of have so many hobbies. I go back and forth and I'm on and off. But I generally try to show up for these new member orientations, these Q&As, so I appreciate when you guys come in and have questions for us. So that's what we're here to do today.
Wonderful. Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, thanks.
So Stephen and I are both based in the Midwest. Murray's up in Canada, and we usually have a fourth co-host, Hillary, on Sundays, and Hillary's over in Wales, but she's unfortunately unable to join us this morning. So, but sends regards. So we the three of us will do our best to help you. So welcome. I see everybody is coming. We have a real nice size group this morning. And Mark has volunteered via the G2G post to ask his questions. And let's see. So Mark, hello. Nice to meet you. Are you on mute? Yes, you're muted. So just go to the lower.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How long have you been on WikiTree?
I've been lurking for about a year, but I didn't really start having a go at using it properly about 2 or 3 months ago. But like everyone's saying, I'm finding it quite a steep learning curve, and I've had a bunch of other things juggling at the same time. So anyway, I'm eager to learn a bit more and figure out how to make some process transcribing my research from other platforms onto this one, and hopefully build my tree out to connect with what's already there.
Yes. Yeah. And you said your existing tree is on Ancestry, correct?
Yes.
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 Yes. Now, when you and I sent some messages back and forth, I was encouraging you to get the sorcerer.
Yes.
Did you?
Thank you. I mean, it's possible that you've solved all my problems and brought Christmas and New Year and birthdays all at one, actually, because I had a brief look at the video that went with that and thought, wow, it seems that someone anticipated everything that was causing me to feel stuck.
Yes.
Or a lot of it.
Right. And I'm still finding things, if you look at the pull down menu, and I sort of tended to use like 2 or 3 of those all the time. But then one day I thought, well, let's take a look at these other things. And I just had gotten a newspapers.com subscription and realized I can just use Sorcerer to do the search. And so it's wonderful.
Yes. I've not yet had a chance to play with it, but looking forward to do so very much.
Yes. Yeah. Murray, you wrote the documentation for Sorcerer, right? Did you?
No, I did not. No. Rob did that himself.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, at one point, Rob asked me to review his documentation, and I did. And what I found was that his documentation had a bunch of really technical stuff up at the top, and then way down buried in the bottom was what you really needed to know. And so I mentioned that to him. He changed it, So now you get to what you need to know right away, and then you can go off and look at all the other stuff. Yeah, Mark, it's important to go through the settings on Sourcer and make sure that it's going to create your sources the way that you want them, with the kind of wording that you want, and structured the way that you want. And there's a lot of fine tuning you can do in those options.
Yeah.
And Betsy mentioned that you had been trying to use GED Compare.
Yes, I'd used I mean when I joined, I found some welcome notes, and the welcome notes said that um, the first step is to import a GD file, GEDCOM file, and so I was kind of thinking, well, that makes sense. It's bringing stuff across. So I did that just for my kind of, I made a very small GEDCOM file with about a dozen close ancestors, and brought that across, and it was a
Yep.
very straightforward process, except it gave me it just gave me quite confusing data, and then it was kind of, well, okay, so where do I go from here? What's the norm? I mean, again, I need to get used to what the norms are about profiles, because the on ramp that I found was saying, go look at this famous person or go look at that famous person, and yeah, I can clearly see what's possible to do by an experienced researcher with 2 or 3 weeks of editing, with a vast range of sources for a high profile famous person. But what about my grandparents, for example? And given that I've got potentially a couple of thousand people I could bring across, I'd rather be spending 10 or 15 minutes per profile of a distant ancestor, who rather than necessarily spending 2 or 3 weeks per person fine tuning something, especially when there's no sources at all for a lot of these people. I can prove when they were born and when they died, and a couple of census records, but that's it.
Well, yeah, like I had said, you have given us a number of rich topics for discussion. So let's, I've given you co-host power. So do
Okay.
you want to share your screen?
Yes.
And at the bottom, it should be share right in the middle.
Yes. Got that. There we go.
I think you have to decide between a screen, the whole screen, or a window.
Forgive me, I'm
Here's Zoom
a
neophyte.
bit rusty on this. I used to run webinars myself, but haven't done so for many years. Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see that?
We're good.
Access page Edwards.
Yes.
So yes, so that's my grandfather, and this is what the GED importing tool did. It brought across. It gave me a couple of paragraphs, which again it had picked. So that's what it looked like originally on Ancestry, and Ancestry seems to by default map census records onto a residence, and so it seems to have just lumped all the records called residence together, told me his marriage, birth, death, and his name, and then given me a list of 12 sources formatted in one way. And then there was an error message came up to say there was some problem, and it just dumped the rest like that.
Yeah.
And it did this. It's done the same with all the ones. So I think there's something about the import tool which just gets indigestion after a certain number of sources.
Yeah, GEDCOM junk.
Let's just, I have an idea, and I think this will be a good illustration of what you can do with Sourcer in terms of an import. So why don't you go ahead and open your grandfather's profile in another window. So, and don't worry, just have a second window with the same profile, and we'll work in one. And we're not going to save anything, but you'll be able to see through preview mode what we're doing.
Okay.
So another tab is sufficient. It doesn't have to be a new window.
Is that good? Or do you want a window?
Yep, that's perfect. Okay, so now go go into his profile on Ancestry. Right. And now using yours, I don't see the little sorcerer icon. Is it
I just open.
on mine? On
There we
mine,
go.
it's, oh, there
There it
we
is.
go. Perfect. So now click on the pull down menu. The one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I think you have to pin it.
Oh. You have to. Are you
Okay.
not getting the pull down menu?
Can you not see the pull down menu?
No,
No.
we can't, but
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm seeing
Okay.
it. Let me go
Okay.
back to my screen sharing options. I've obviously done
That's okay.
something.
That's okay. What I think I'll do, I'll look.
That's curious.
I'm going to look at one of my profiles so that I'm looking at the pull down menu as well. Okay.
Right.
So, as long as, so,
Let me.
yeah.
yeah, if you share
Are you
your
seeing that? Are you seeing? Are you
desktop.
seeing that now? Yes. I think I've just shared my desktop. Have I just shared my desktop?
Not yet.
No.
No, we just had the split screen right now with you guys.
Oh, what have I done? Oh dear. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not, you must have stopped sharing somehow.
Ah, it's telling me to choose what I share. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
says I'm screen sharing. There we go. All right, there we go. Right. So if I go back to here, now you can see that, can you?
Right. Yes. Now let's see if we can see the pull down menu.
And if I pull that down, can you see it?
There we go.
Brilliant. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. So now, in the second section, go ahead and select Build All Citations.
Okay.
Okay, and now it's copied in, oh, and do narratives plus inline citations,
It's going to build the narrative for you.
right? Might take, depending on number of sources, it takes a bit of time. Okay,
Okay.
now, yes, go back to one of your WikiTree profiles.
Okay.
Yes, and go into edit mode.
So that would be a little pencil. Yeah.
Right. Okay, and in the biography section, I want you to go ahead and under biography, start highlighting because we're going to delete everything.
Oh, okay. All
Yep,
that.
all of that. Stop at sources. So we don't want to. So you have to back it up a little bit. Okay,
To
yes,
there.
that much.
Delete all
Yes.
that.
Delete
Right.
all that.
And then from the references down, delete all that.
The source, gobbledygook sources. Yep.
But not the
Yeah.
references tag itself. Careful.
No. Gotcha. Oops.
I know, it might be a little laggy when you're sharing at the same time.
Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't have an. There isn't an end. The source just. That's the end of the screen.
Yeah.
Can you select from there and go
I can
up?
do. I was looking for the end of the references. There is no closer references.
No,
It's just the sources.
no, it's just the end of the page. So that
That's-
reference
Oh, all right.
tag
Oh,
basically
right.
sits
There
ahead
we
of
go.
the sources.
All right. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was looking for a close.
No,
So
that
just like that.
references tag is an empty element. You can tell because it's got the slash at the end.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I will just say, actually, could you highlight that with your cursor for a second? That right, yes. So if everybody takes note of that, that's such a common error when you're new to WikiTree to just think, I don't know I don't need that, and just it looks messy. I'll just delete it. But it's actually essential for when you're doing inline citations. You absolutely need that there. So just leave it. Okay, now you can put your cursor under biography and now do a command, do a paste. Okay.
Yep. Now go to
So,
preview mode.
yep, we can see what it all looks like in preview.
Where's preview?
Just
So
up a
just
little
up
bit.
a little.
Draft to preview it.
Go up a little bit. There
Oh,
it
there
is.
you go.
Preview. There we go.
Okay, so
Right.
opens a new. Well,
Okay.
check it out.
That's kind of more what I was expecting to have come out of the import.
Right.
Mm.
It
There we
doesn't build
go.
the narrative when you do a
No.
GEDCOM import. It just dumps all that junk, and now
right. Okay.
it's legible. You can actually see what each item is being cited, and because you
Yep.
have that references tag in there, it's being inline cited. Within that sources section now.
Yep.
With those ancestry links.
Okay.
And you-
Oh, that's really
and you get
helpful.
a narrative to go with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
the narrative
Right.
is
Yep.
important.
Which of course you can you probably want to make it flow a little bit better as prose, and especially if you knew him personally, add
Yep.
personal
Yep.
details,
Yep.
and you're welcome to add as a source firsthand
Sorry.
recollections of grandson, and then your WikiTree ID.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing
Go
that's important to note, Mark, is that one of our Newt team leaders has developed his methodology so that he can create a profile a minute.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I mean, it takes time to learn, get your pattern going, and all that.
Yeah.
But once you do, if you've got sources in your Ancestry profile, even if you've only got 3, that's enough. You can get a profile built.
Yeah.
And I find that one of the tricks of working on WikiTree is to get it built until you can connect. So you might have to
Yes.
go to third great grandparents, fourth great
Yep.
grandparents, whatever it is.
Yep.
Once you connect, now you're part of the tree, and that's
That
you
was
can go from there.
that was my goal, to go up until I've connected and then come back down again and fill in some of the gaps.
Yeah.
There you go.
And yeah, I've got but I aim to have a minimum of birth, marriage, and death registrations on every record, plus census data, and then fill in other things as it's available and as the inclination takes me.
Have you connected to the tree yet?
No, I haven't got that far. I'm going to have to go. I think I have found one. I think I found a 4th great grandparent on the tree,
Okay.
but I haven't found easy connections.
Now,
This particular line I'm
Mhm.
looking at here doesn't even connect with very much an Ancestry. It seems to be very isolated so far.
Now, in addition to that, of course, you don't have to connect via Ancestry. If there's marriages anywhere laterally, and you can find somebody that's already in the system, that might be the fastest way that you end up connecting. So at some point, you may want to go, broad instead of deep.
Yeah.
To find that connection.
Yeah.
Aunts, parents of the aunt by marriage, that sort of thing can be very.
Yeah. Well,
do you want to save it for now, or?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes.
Yeah.
I think
And
he
then
likes it.
also, I'd like to draw on one thing I love about our sessions is we always have a little core group of experienced WikiTreeers who join us, and they have a lot of wisdom. And so I wanted to ask either Anne or Denise. I think both have good tips about bio and auto bio, and finding ways to craft a better bio, but with some tips and tricks. Would one of the two of you like to speak to that?
Yeah, what I do is you're here right now. Go into the tab that says biography.
Oh,
Sorry.
so
The
Your
one
tab
there's a
on the
sources, tablets, categories, biographies, and miscellaneous.
edit toolbar.
Almost there. Oops, no.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Am I coming out of the edit screen?
No,
No. Go back
No.
down to the edit text box.
Okay.
Now you see that
Resources.
toolbar? Yep.
Bio.
Templates, categories,
Oh,
biography.
toolbar up here.
No,
Nope.
down below.
No. You were there. It
Oh,
has a
this
B and an
toolbar.
I
Okay.
and an H.
Sources.
Yes.
Go into the biographies, and
There you go.
and you can do auto bio, which means it completely wipes.
Ooh, don't do it yet.
Don't do it yet,
Okay.
but it gives you a lot of brand new ideas to do a more fluff bio.
Oh,
So-
right.
So actually, let's practice this.
Don't
Yeah.
click on it yet,
If
please.
Mark, if you like what we've done, with the import with Sorcerer. Go ahead
Yeah.
and save this. And then could we go in and do the autobio thing?
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do
Sure.
stages. So
I saved it as a draft. Shall I
Yes.
commit it?
Go
go
ahead.
ahead and put in a explanation first. So you'll want to, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
that
Perfect.
works.
I'll,
Hmm.
And also you need
We'll
categories
save.
also.
There you are.
All right.
I mean, I know Stephen would do your categories for you.
I am a categorization monkey.
All right.
So now
so
what
auto bio.
Yep. Now what it does, go ahead and press it. What it does is it's going to go look at all of the sources that you've collected,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to write its own
Whoa.
version
Auto
of the narrative.
Okay.
They added categories too. Look at
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Especially for London, which can get complicated.
And if you don't like it, you could just go back to auto.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Just
so
give you
still some
something
blanks
different.
and bold.
Good.
Yeah, that's a lot more readable than before, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that's the power of AI, isn't it?
And I will say that the little trick that I showed you to bring over everything from your grandfather's ancestry profile
Yep.
will also work for a family search profile.
Yep.
I think the advantage with doing an
Mhm.
ancestry profile, your tree, is it's your research and you trust it.
Yes.
Whereas on family search, you have to go through everyone.
Well,
Now, do
so,
do
again,
you
so
see?
far I've not successfully connected to Family Search. I've built it up for about 4 generations on Family Search, and it's really not connecting yet.
Mhm.
We seem to be a very isolated
Right there.
family, or at least we do. I mean, I think I have very few ancestors or distant cousins who emigrated. I think, and what seems to happen is that the research on the American platforms or the global platforms are largely done by people who've emigrated and want to find their British roots.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And
Might I
I
just
haven't got far enough to connect with those yet. Also, there are some very, very common names. So, if you had a 7th great grandparent called Edwards who was born in England, you're going to struggle to find which Edwards they were.
Right. Is your family concentrated in a specific area of England, or is it all over?
My mother's family come from the London area, so the Edwards line I've got back to 1800 in London, and they come from Suffolk before then, but I haven't yet figured out where in Suffolk. And the parish registers for Suffolk are not easily accessible yet.
Interesting.
Um,
So, Mark, I wanted to bring up something really quick here. Do you
Yeah.
notice how there's 2 biographies and 2 sources sections on this profile now?
oh yes.
So it appears that AutoBio has put its information ahead of what we currently had. So it didn't
Okay.
delete it,
No,
but
that's good.
then you can compare between the
Yep.
two. And if you
Yep.
decide to want to get rid of the older version, then you would just have
Yep.
to take those 2 sections out that are
Super.
below.
I'm comfortable with editing markup language.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't aware of your experience.
No, sorry, I'm not familiar with this platform at all. So I really appreciate your coaching.
Okay.
I do completely understand the point you're making, and can
Right, and for others who
figure out
may
how
not be
to
as
do it.
familiar with the territory,
Yeah.
So it does look like it at least saved the info. It didn't completely destroy the data, which was nice.
No, and I mean, while we're on the point, I noticed that in the Wiki Sourcer, he made the good point that, I mean, there seems to be some controversy about what is the best source of birth, death, and marriage registration data for UK people, but I would concur that the GRO website is the best place.
Okay.
And what Ancestry is giving us is a copy of the GRO website.
Right. Yeah.
But is there a straightforward way to change these links to? This is then a link to a proprietary ancestry record, which is a copy of a public record.
And they can decide to take access away.
Is there a straightforward way of pointing to the public record rather than via the proprietary ancestry record?
Sure. Can you go to your list? Can you screen share again?
well, you're not screen sharing anymore.
He still
no.
is, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's
still
because
seeing it.
I went to see whose hand was up and it was yours,
Oh,
Steve.
sorry, that was my hand because I wanted to talk. I'm dumb. Let me
It's
put
all
it
right.
down.
I need to see how I can see your screen again.
Do I need to do something?
No,
No.
everyone else can see it, right?
Oh, no, I
What
messed
are
it
you
up.
seeing, Betsy?
I'm seeing me and Mark.
Huh.
Mark it. View, let's see, view.
Zoom meeting gallery view, maybe?
Maybe, okay.
Just
Now I'm
don't
seeing,
hit leave meeting.
okay. Well, there are other co-hosts besides me, so
Oh,
multi-speaker,
we know how well that's gone in the past with me.
full screen. No, good grief. Oh, wait, I got it. I figured
good.
it out. Okay. So, Mark, if you could go, if you want to go ahead and save save that, or actually you could go back to your profile that we just left open, and we have one edited and one.
Oh, I can
Before
see
you
it says
play,
delete old
yeah,
bio, so there must be.
delete old bio.
Okay, so there's the easy button to
Wow,
remove
this
it
is
then.
very clever. This is very, very clever. Just a question of discovering it. So I've not played with these buttons before, so there seems to be quite a lot of stuff that they do.
Oh yeah.
Ian's
I
really
love
happy
buttons.
about it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are fun.
But those don't show up unless you're using the browser extension, correct?
That's right.
Oh, so I've only just installed the extension, so
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why I didn't find them when I was playing before.
Yeah, they're not in the
That's right.
default version.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Wow.
just if you would go to your if you want to save, go ahead.
Yeah, I saved it as a draft.
Okay, and go back to the other tab on your far right, where it's your grandfather's profile, which is as far as WikiTree knows the
Oh,
version.
the clean one.
Oh, you know what? We did clean this up. Refresh on that, because
I didn't. Oh yeah, we saved it, didn't we?
yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, there we go.
So your ancestry sources should show up as a sharing link.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
go ahead. Yeah.
that's still the best way to do it, is it? Rather than point people to the GRO website.
No,
Well,
not necessarily.
no, go ahead, click right where you are. Click on that. And so let's look at the actual record. Now, here's a very fun trick. Now, on this page, click on the one again. Yep. And you're going to now search family search and see if we can find the same record on family search. Yep, for the same record, that one.
Same collection.
Same collection.
Mm-hmm. Civil orchestration. Oh, you gotta sign in first.
Oh, that's usually me. I always forget to sign in before these sessions.
All right.
Okay, do you
That
reckon?
would be it, yeah?
That'll be him.
Yep.
And the birth registration date is correct.
Now, this is a little bit tedious, if you have a lot of sources, but you've now found the free version of the record. So you could
Right.
copy the citation on the left and then go back to the WikiTree profile and replace what you have with the ancestry information with this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go to findmypast.com per this citation then. We could still pull it for family search, and that's acceptable then?
Wait yes. Mark, sorry, when you did the copy citation by using the little button at the bottom there, right?
I did.
Okay, I want you to go to the one again. Yep. And if you go to the middle section, you'll see build inline citation. There you go.
Yep.
So now you've got it formed by sourcer. Now you go back to your there you go. And find wherever that was.
It was the first one, I think, right? So that makes it easy.
Am I putting it in? Not in the sources section or the biography section?
In
It
the
would go in the
biography
bio.
section.
Biography, yes.
Oh, put it in the biography section.
Because we're
Right,
going to create an
science-
inline citation.
Okay.
Right.
Now that's the birth registration.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that birth. Huh. How come the birth registration isn't in here?
Well,
Oh, because it's a
It's
registration.
linking
It's not
to
a.
it's linking to family search.
No, I was just wondering why there wasn't already a narrative and a citation here for birth registration. But
Oh,
I
that's
think it's
interesting,
because
yes.
it's a registration. It's not actually a birth record or baptism.
It's the birth certificate. That's the government birth certificate. If you go to the GRO website, you get the online birth certificate or the button to
Right.
buy one if you want. Well, you can that whether it's been digitized or not, I don't know. But that the normally my understanding is that the government records office, the GRO, is the primary source for legal birth registrations in the UK.
Okay. It's just that we make a distinction. At least I think we do still make a distinction between an actual record of a birth. So something done at a hospital or something done at a at a church where a baptism occurred or something like that. Something where there's the official who's recording it was there,
Yes, so this would be the
right?
birth register. So that would be the government record office would give you the official birth certificate that says this person exists,
Right.
and it gives you that's the document you take if you need to prove your identity.
Okay, so let's go back to your end tab there, where
Or
we're on
maybe
family search.
do a
Yeah,
preview just to see how it looks.
and go to your
Oh.
one again. Go to your one again. Now, instead of inline citation, build a narrative with citation. There you go. Now go back and grab that grab the citation you already had. Oh, okay. So you can delete that one, the previous one, and now you've got
I was just seeing how it differs.
a narrative and a.
Yeah, because what it's doing basically, it's showing an index, right? That's what this registration is, because it's going from October to December, right?
Yes.
So effectively, it's like a birth record and a birth index. We're looking at two different things. Is how I understand it, right?
Yes, I believe that's right.
It is the index of the records. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's a good distinction to make, because we don't want to say that that's actually the birth record itself. Of the day of. It was registered and it was recorded, like the birthday and everything is in that birth registration document, along with everybody else that was from October to December, right?
No, you get your own. Just got
to find the data somewhere in there.
If you go, but you have to pay for it. That's not free data.
Right. Yeah, they always do that, don't they? Regardless which country you're in.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, the point was that if you find a record that's on Ancestry or somewhere else that and you'd rather have a better record for that, you can then go look at Family Search or GRO itself.
Super.
Mm-hmm.
Super.
Yeah.
But this isn't going to be complete by day 2 or day 3. I mean, obviously these profiles get a lot of work. These jobs are never done, honestly. And even after we're past, people are still going to be finding info and adding to them. And that's just how genealogy works, right?
I think the auto bio tool is going to be a godsend to me, and the sourcer is fantastic, and it's a big step up and saved me several days' work, if not weeks' work, figuring out how to do that all manually.
Yes.
Oh yeah, efficiency, great.
And I'll get used to the format, and it was really how to move between what I had to what you've given me now, and I had no idea there was just one button to click. I thought I was having to do it all manually, and that was what was feeling overwhelming.
Yeah,
I can work what you give me here is very good to work with, very good to work with.
Good.
Mhm.
Now, don't stop screen sharing yet. I just want to call on Denise. Denise mentioned that, so since you had already installed you'd already imported a bunch of profiles via JEDCOM. Denise mentioned the AGC tool, which is automatic JEDCOM cleanup. Denise, do you want to speak?
Oh, yeah, I can, or Steve can.
Okay.
Uh,
You can go
he
ahead.
needs he needs a different profile now that
Yeah, I
one's
can
been
do that.
cleaned up.
I can do that. I can do that. Just
Get us more JEDCOM junk, and we will use it as a model.
all right. So here's another raw one.
All right.
Oh yes, very raw.
This is my grandmother.
Yeah, so when you click on your edit button for the profile, and you can go to the edit biography text. Now, in that, where right below biography sources, you see a number of symbols, and starting to the far left, the second one you see colorized. It says AGC.
Ooh,
That's your
okay.
automatic JEDCOM cleanup.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
So if you click on that,
Magic.
it automatically cleans up all that JEDCOM junk that was in there. It takes it out and reformats your
Ooh.
profile. You can go down to preview and look and see what you have there.
Oh, all right. Well, that's also an improvement.
Yes, that
Now it
that
will
makes that
also.
step a lot easier.
Okay.
You'll also notice that it has a section where it found a source with what was that? No factor data or date. So it knows that there's something wrong here. It sees there's a inconsistency or discrepancy, and so that points your attention to that source to furthermore investigate it.
All right.
And
Yep.
be able to get that data out correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll have a look at where that came from.
Yeah, so
But
that is
yeah.
all for me.
Yeah, thank you, Denise.
Thanks, Denise.
I do want to highlight that Mark is using the WikiTree browser extension, which is another free browser extension that you can add on. But especially if you're, very new to WikiTree, you may not have it yet. And so it does change the appearance and add, a number of extra features and tools, which are wonderful. Usually when I demonstrate for these sessions, I disable my browser extension because I just want to replicate what a very, very new member would see. So just be aware that if you're looking at edit mode and you do not see auto bio or AGC, that means you don't have the WikiTree browser extension. Mark is seeing those because he has added that on.
Also, I wanted to add the AGC button, I don't believe shows up on every profile. I think it shows up when it sees that there is something that's JEDCOM.
Right.
Okay.
Does that
And
sound
if it
accurate,
hasn't
Murray?
been touched.
And has not been touched. Right.
Okay,
If edits have been made, that button goes away.
then it goes away. Mhm.
No, there's a cross through it now, so I guess it's saying we can't do it again.
Yes, that looks like
Oh,
it.
okay.
Wow.
Don't forget
Wow.
to save if you want.
Actually, with the cross through the AGC means you can undo it.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. Goodness me.
They've thought of everything, these tech guys.
Gosh. Wow.
Check out
Wow.
Hacktoberfest when it comes around later this year. They just think of all this stuff. That they're the wizards that allow us to do these things.
Well, thank you to all the wizards who are doing this wizardry. It's just a question of finding it and learning about how to use it.
Well, those are Rob Pavey for Sorcerer and Ian Bacall and a crew of others for the WikiTree browser extension.
Wow.
Yeah, credit where credit's due.
well, anything else that we can answer for you, Mark?
I think that's been so helpful, Betty. Thank you so much.
Good.
So hopefully I can remember some of this and make some progress. But the solutions are definitely there to be found, and
Yes.
so grateful to you for saving me such a lot of time and effort.
Oh, absolutely. And
You can
you know,
always come back and watch.
Yes.
exactly. Come back.
Oh yeah.
So,
And Rick brought up Tech Talk too, so that's Monday evenings where they also talk about technology on WikiTree as well.
so that's once a Murray, why don't you talk about Tech Talk?
Yeah, sure. Tech Talk happens once a month. It is the last Monday of the month at 6 p.m. Eastern time in North America, which makes it about midnight, I think, in the UK. Um, and we just talk about the tools and things that are new with the tools. So, and we answer questions and give demonstrations of new stuff. So there's a bunch of new features there's a bunch of new features and a bunch of improved features in the WikiTree browser extension. So I'll be talking about that. And Rob will be talking about the changes he might have made in the last month or two. And we just we open it up for people who have how do I do this? How do I do that? And also feature requests. I mean, sometimes people will come on and say, hey, I've been trying to do this, and I was just wondering, could you guys maybe make a tool that will do that? And often you get a response. So it's a good group of us. Greg Clark is there. He does a lot of tree apps, and Rob will be there. And so yeah, we'll have a good time there tomorrow at 6.
Yeah. Thank you, Murray.
Yeah.
So we have, about 5 minutes left. What other questions do we have? I think we had another very new member, James, but he left. So,
Yeah, I don't see him anymore.
yeah, if you want to speak or put it in the chat.
Ann brought up another important point is that if anybody has any questions, for them to please add it to G2G. So again, we can reiterate that forum is available for anyone who has tech questions or general questions or anything for that matter.
Right. What I'm going to do, well, Murray and I can put our user IDs into the chat.
Do that.
That will navigate you to our pages, and then you can send us a private message, and we'll get it.
These
And
are also all available on the new member page as well.
yeah, which I'm about to put up. So this web page here is a free space page that is basically our clearinghouse for for this series. And if you scroll down to the top of the page is like how to get to the next session, what day, what time, the Zoom link. But then if you scroll to the bottom, there are some other, well, here, let me screen share and just show. New member Q&A.
Your Betsy tips are
There we go.
fantastic.
So right, I really try hard to keep this up to date. And I believe that we only have 2 Zoom links. Like for all the Thursday sessions, it is always this link. And for all the Sunday sessions, it is always this link. So that's kind of handy. You could just
I
put
never noticed that.
that's sort of new. Yeah, you can see how
Same
long.
bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah. So here we have this is just a cheat sheet that I made when I was a new WikiTreeer. And I did tidy it up a little bit for public consumption, but things that I just found useful that I was always asking myself, no, wait a minute, how do I do that? And for instance, I was saying to you, Mark, if you wanted to say personal recollection based on, then you in edit mode, you would write Hammersley 239 pipe, and then your name, Mark Hammersley. And then what will happen in real view is it will hyperlink to your profile. So that's very handy. So anyone is welcome to have a look at this and use it and add to, well, you can't add, I guess you can't add to it, but you could copy it and, you know, make your own. So and then I have sort of moved away from this on the Saturday roundup, but we've done for over a year, we did tip of the week. And so this is a quick guide to all of the tips and where you can find them on the YouTube replays. And then Murray Maloney did this profile creation tutorial.
It might be a
Murray,
bit out of date now.
yeah. But this is you know, especially for if you're new, profile creation is a little tricky. So that's a good resource. And then this is just if you're doing a thon. So you know, lots of good stuff there. When you and if you can't find it there, then just send one of us a message. Anything else? No? Okay. All right. Well, then I will just close off and stop the recording and say thank you very much. Our next session is, we're always the second Thursday evening of the month. So that will be Thursday, May 8th, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thursday, May 8th, at 8 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the second one of the month is always Sunday morning, the fourth Sunday of the month. So thank you very much to everyone, and we hope to see you again.
Thanks, team. Much appreciated for all your help.
You're welcome.